Hi everyone, welcome back to Under the Influence. Sorry for the 2 minute lateness. I just had to get a little drinky drink. So yeah, my guests are backstage. Everybody's here waiting for us to start this. So let's see, everybody's in the comments. Hey, everybody.
Hello.
Jump right in. Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Yes.
I was
What's up?
backstage chilling.
Yeah, in the green room, right? I told them don't sleep on my green room, okay?
Green room was lit. Green room was lit.
Okay, did you get your drinks?
I have no drinks. Okay, let me go get one. Let me go get one real quick.
Please do.
I'm a lightweight, so we have to take it real easy because I can't drink. You know that.
Okay. So we're
I'm
just
not
going to
a
be
drinker.
doing a little introduction. Everybody, my name is Jamil or OD Vibe. We have on my right, I guess, Kemar. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hello. Hi guys, my name is Kemar. I'm originally from Barbados. I'm here to just have fun and answer some questions tonight.
Right? And just a little background on Kemar. He knows his law stuff. So yeah. So whatever he's talking about.
Okay,
yeah.
but even though I must say, if my boss is watching, that this is not professional legal advice, but this is a drunk conversation. Yeah.
Disclaimer.
Yes, I read the disclaimer.
And we have below us, we have Toya.
Hi. You
Okay,
don't need no background on me. I good. Everybody should know me by now.
So you all see her business, so you all know she could do that, right? So today I'm drinking a little Jack. For my people who were on the boat ride, I have the Jack, and my friends will be proud. Listen, the chasing with the sparkling. Your life, you need to get your life, okay? So today the topic is, let me get the topic. Let me add Toya back into the stream.
Hi, sorry, I'm not sure what just happened.
We're gonna be pouring our drinks, get situated so that we can start.
I got one.
I almost feel like I'm in a party, like for real.
It is a party. It's a party with, you know, when you're in a party and then you kind of go over to the cocktail table and then you meet your friends and then you'll start talking about politics or something that's just not related to the party.
Yeah.
It's one of those.
Yeah. We're in VIP and we're in the little studio fun having conversations, okay?
Right. So as you can see below, the topic is when does freedom of speech evolve into character assassination? So that's what we're going to be discussing today. I mean, we have all kind of people in the live. Okay, everybody's in the live. So yeah, we could start off. I have my little notes, my questions. We're official this week, okay? Official.
We're a little bit more on. We have our notes and everything, questions down, making sure we cover everything, right?
Everything. So the first question is, what counts as a defamation of character?
I'll let the lawyer start. Let the lawyer do his thing.
Okay. Historically, defamation is supposed to be anything you say about a person that lowers their estimation in the eyes of third people. And when I say anything that you say, you have to say it to third persons. And usually it's something that is not true, right? So very basically, brought down into real terms, because today we'll be looking at social media and character assassination. Defamation now, the law has been updated and legislation now looks at defamation happening on social media, and people have been charged for it and have had to pay a lot of money for it. It's simply anything that you impute about a person, or any type of conduct that you impute about a person that causes other people to look at them in disregard.
So impute, impute for everybody else who, give us a layman's
Sorry.
terms.
So it's like anything that you say about a person or suggest about a person. So it could be from a tweet. There's case law that looked at Facebook posts.
Right.
So it's very realistic.
That hits home for everybody because all of us have thumbs and our thumbs go wild sometimes on
Let
social
me
media.
tell you, wild thumbs. We be having some wild thumbs on the social media platforms, especially on Twitter. Twitter is a known place where people they feel very courageous, to be honest. And it's a platform I feel like people are a little bit more brave. What they would not say on Instagram and Facebook, they would say it on Twitter.
Facts. I feel like it hits home so much because we all have been underneath something like the shade room. So, okay, for example, if I'm under the shade room and they post like a celebrity or underneath a celebrity's post, and I say something in a comment, because a lot of people, for everybody who uses the term trolls, I think everybody has a little bit of a troll in them that, you might go underneath somebody who you think is not going to see what you have to say anyway.
Yeah.
Right? And
you just talk about.
Yeah, you can let them say whatever you want. A lot of people say some hurtful stuff. So could you get some kind of
for commenting?
Well, you see, if we look at it contextually, like with the law too, you gotta be realistic about certain things. It has to injure the person who would be suggesting that it's defamation. So if you say something about a celebrity that may be outrageous, but it's not likely to cause other people to think that they have done this conduct that they think they should look at the person with a lower esteem, then it's not going to be defamation. And realistically, no celebrity is really going to sue you for that. But like just pragmatically speaking, unless it's something that really affects them, they're not going to waste their time suing you for that. But what we have like on Twitter, especially because you talked about Twitter, is what I have seen are people now making up stuff about other people or saying it as if it's something that they know to be valid, and it's actually defamation, and people can actually sue for those types of tweets.
Okay, so that leads me into my next question. So in terms of the laws surrounding defamation, before we go into that, defamation, libel, and character assassination are kind of on the same.
Okay. Libel and slander were historically forms of finding that defamation, or as you would say, character assassination had occurred. But the law had one was written and one was spoken, two different actions. But now it's just defamation. You just plead defamation. So once the thing has been said in whatever forum, this is why legislation now includes social media, then the courts can find it's defamation. But I think if I may assist a little, I think what you're really asking me is like the extent of what you say, like how can it be considered defamation? Like if you attack very basically somebody's professional standing, their personal integrity, anything that can be seen so serious that it could actually affect them in real life, in real decisions, then the courts look at those things as having injured the person, and it can be seen as defamation.
Okay. I don't know. This conversation is making me a little nervous, and it's making me want to deactivate my account.
Sorry.
So okay, I have a question though.
Go ahead.
Let's just say
so we just say we all get to sue.
Because I feel like that's what I was about to say, because I think we have all said something about somebody, a celebrity or whatever, on any social
if I can answer one question quickly, hold your question. Somebody just asked if it applies in St. Lucia, and it applies regionally. Like the law that you'll be hearing me speaking about, we kind of share the same court, Supreme Court. Right. Sorry, I practice in Antigua, although I'm Barbadian, as you can hear. So the OVCS particularly, we have the same case law, etc. So yes, they apply to all of us.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty then. So we know not to have notes with the fingers.
I know,
Was
it's like you just have
what
to
it,
tiptoe around it, right?
Yeah, you have to watch what it, and I feel like that's important too because, like, okay, so maybe I don't know if you could answer that for me, Kamar. What is drawing the line? Like, because that's a little sticky. Because if you cannot, you might as well delete your Twitter account or your social
okay.
media account. If you cannot be vocal about anything without it affecting somebody else, and then you feeling like, oh shit, I can't talk because I'm going to get sued. Then what? When 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 do you cross the line?
I think
I
honestly, you really just have to have a time and place kind of balance in your head. Right now, especially for if we're talking about, social media and people with huge social platforms and influencers, etc., your scope of what you say that can affect one particular person can be wider. And the wider it is, the more likely the court will find that you have seriously injured this person because you've exposed this thing to a wide audience. Um, bearing that in mind, when you do have to have your Twitter fingers or you do have to say what you have to say, even if it's just for your own interest, have that balance of time and place, because you now know that you might be liable to have to pay a certain amount of money for shit talking when it isn't true.
Okay,
And that's
I
really
have
what
a
it is.
question.
Go
I
ahead.
have a question for you. It's a question about an account being anonymous, and you know who controls the page,
Mm-hmm.
but you
They are
don't
thinking,
know.
fake pages in solution, Toya.
Well,
Right, that's what I'm trying to say. Because they have a lot of fake accounts, and people use those anonymous pages to attack people's character and quote unquote bully people and just really be very vocal about how they feel about the person. How do you get around that?
you mean legally speaking?
Legally speaking, yes.
Right. So I know like a lot of our territories now have like computer misuse acts, and I literally, you're not asking me this question, so this isn't like something that I prepared, but we all have like a computer misuse act, and I know like in Barbados especially that they have found people by like tracing IP addresses, etc., to charge them for things that they were doing online. I think a lot of people are not aware that majority of, I don't know if I get in trouble for saying this, but like
No, no, go ahead. I would love to
a
know.
lot of our police force use social media, and monitor social media. So it's not very hard to get around these things. Like the same way you and I would know that it's a fake profile, and you and I will probably know who it is because society is very small. Police live in our society too, and the same way people like to trash talk, they like to carry news. So it's
Right.
not that hard to find out. So I just think it's in your best interest to have that balance so you don't end up being that person.
So that leads me to my next question, right? What do we consider? Okay, there's a line. What do we consider bullying versus defamation? Because a lot of people could come on and say, okay, Jamil, you posted this and you look this way, or you are fat, or you whatever, just going at me personally, like not saying
All
something
right.
that really changes my life per se.
And
The
also,
way I would
what
answer,
is
sorry,
meant,
go ahead.
I guess, well, that doesn't make sense. I was gonna say what is meant to be a joke,
Right.
Right.
as
So,
opposed to
yeah,
bullying as characters, whatever, assassination or defamation of character and a joke.
So one of the things that the court assesses in defamation is looking at. So when you say what the conduct is, they look at what the reasonable man would have inferred that you said. That meaning, like even if I say something about you're all in dialect, the court is not going to try to interpret the dialect to standard English to give it a meaning that it never meant by the person who wrote it. So the same types of principles apply. The same way, I'm I don't work for the state or anything, for anybody that wondering. But the same way that somebody can sue for defamation, if I was representing somebody suing for defamation, the first thing I would ask the court to interpret is how what was said was meant. So that
Right.
context is also very important in terms of, it's not like willy-nilly the court is going to say, you said this and this person's feelings were hurt, so we're going to give them money from you because of that. It has to
Right.
be very serious. It has to be, again, about their professional reputation, their personal integrity, things that will affect them in their daily lives, like literally affect them, before you could fine for defamation.
Okay, let's say I'm an influencer and my job is to look good in order to attract a certain kind of clientele, selling myself, I'm the product. Also, I have endorsements, and the endorsements I received is based on the way I look. And this person created a fake account and is now bashing that. My face, my mouth, my cheeks, my hand, the way I am shaped,
She's
my
buying
skin
your
color.
look.
Beg your pardon?
I think we lost.
She's buying your look.
Yes, my looks.
Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, I think we lost you for just a second, but I think you're back.
Yeah, we lost you for a
I
second.
think that, for instance, that might not be defamation.
How? That
Hi,
is
can you hear me?
defamation. I'm not making money. I'm no longer making money because
Can you
this
hear
person
now?
has me so bad. I'm losing endorsements.
Wait,
I'm not getting as
no.
much likes and forward on particular posts that I should be getting. What do I do then?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if
Can you
that
guys hear me?
we can hear you now, but it's still going in and out a little bit.
Okay. I saw somebody blame Flo Barbados. It's Flo Antigua. So get it right. All the flows blame Flo Antigua.
Hello, don't back Flora. You can't do
Yeah,
that.
Yeah,
Hello.
a brand ambassador.
Oh,
for food.
sorry.
I'm joking.
But, no,
I see.
seriously. To answer your first question about the image alone, right? I think there may be two different types of remedies on the top of my head. I don't think it would be defamation. The first is you will be looking at emotional distress or something that you would have suffered for those words, particularly.
Yeah.
Or I also heard you saying that you started losing money because of it. That might also be your image rights. So you might have an action where you sue for the damage which you occurred to your image rights. Right? But I don't think it would be defamation, particularly because, yeah, people might be trash talking you, but if you ain't ugly, you ain't ugly. So if somebody say you ugly and you ain't ugly, I ain't gonna believe that you ugly. So it not affecting me. You know what I mean? Like,
I get you.
It not affecting how I think of you.
So
Your second question, sorry, go ahead.
no, what you was finish what you were saying?
No, she had answered second question too just now. I can't remember.
I didn't. Did I?
Oh, I thought so. Sorry.
Oh
Tiffany
no.
has a question. She said, recently I've been seeing a lot of people sharing their stories about rape or sexual assault where women mostly tweet and expose their alleged rapists. What about that? That's
Okay, simply put, one of the things that is really the herald of determining whether it's defamation is whether the thing is true or not. So depending on whatever the truth is, without me getting into anything sensitive,
right. Yeah, we don't
that's just not me. Whatever the truth is either a defense. So if you were to have a claim against me, Kemar, saying that I said something defamatory against you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can defend your claim in court reasonably by saying what I said was the truth. It's called defense of justification of truth. And if I can prove reasonably that what I said was the truth, then you will not win in an action for defamation against me. And conversely, when you are suing for defamation, although what I have said, the things about your personal integrity, etc., all of that you speak about being injured, the underlying presumption that the court would look at is whether the thing is true or not. So if you could clearly see that it is true, then obviously there is a defense. If it doesn't look to be true and nobody can prove it true, then you go from there.
Really tie up. Sorry to say.
Well, I mean, so that means I can come into the court, right? Okay, so let's say I'm underneath Toya's page and I'm going at her, right? Me and I have beef. And I'm going at whatever she posts, calling her all sorts of names. And I come into the court. Let's just say, okay, let me not use Toya. Let me just say, if it's a female, and I say, well, you're a whore. And she takes me to court for calling her a whore. And we get there, and I'm trying to prove that... She's, like, if I have actual proof, and by proof, that kind of is a little bit relative in terms of proof, because then I could say, well,
you might think so, but literally, like, if you can prove that somebody is a whore, like even in divorce cases, if you can prove that somebody cheated on you,
like it's a fact. Like, if you can prove they're a whore,
you have to bring evidence of the act. You can't just come court and say that it happened. So you saying it like it might be harsh or whatever, but that if you need to prove that it's true, you gotta prove that it's true, dog, or you gotta pay the money. So
or like hire like a PI or something. Okay.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, prove it true.
So what kind of precautions should people take online? I think that could be answered by any of us. I mean, that's kind of like common sense. Like,
I actually want to hear what you all think, because I feel like I don't want to get too technical.
Right. We don't want to make it too technical, because it's still going to be like everyday life. You're still going to get off it, go on Twitter and quote something and be very honest about it.
I think it's super difficult, because my thing is, where do you draw the line? Like, how do you know where to draw the line? What do I say? What do I not say? I cannot just be mute, and especially if you have a brand, you have to speak out at certain points. And not only having a brand, you're just a normal person and you're very vocal. You're telling me that I can't express myself and I can't say anything at all?
These comments.
If I say boo, they're going to say she not tell me boo, you know. Boo was meant for me. I said boo yesterday and she used boo in her tweets. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
the precautions that I take.
Go ahead. Yeah.
The precautions that I take, to be honest, I tweet very blanket. I don't name names. I mean, there's a way around that. I learned that on some show. That's a what?
That's smart. That's what people do. Like, that's what the media does too. Allegedly. Always say allegedly. If you don't say allegedly, you're...
Allegedly. I'm gonna get
those tweets as personal tweets, you know. Those tweets that have no names, those blanket tweets, they take those tweets. Oh, you were talking about me. Conversation.
The only thing they could do with that is beat me outside. That's it. They can't bring me in. They can have a personal issue with it and be vexed on their face, but that's
they also can't prove that it's them. No matter how much they think it's for them, they can't prove it's them.
So I have a question. Okay, you didn't name no names. Let's say you put out a tweet about a situation, naming 0 names, but you put out a tweet or you say something concerning a situation that happened with somebody. Can that person use that and say, well, that happened to me, and she's using that without mentioning any names, but that was about me?
They can. Anybody could say anything. But I don't think that they will have a very easy job proving it at all. Even if they prove that the thing happened to them, it could have happened to anybody else. So how is it you?
Okay. So here's a scenario. I'm texting to my friend. Let's just say I'm texting to my friend and that's a mutual friend to the person, and I say, I'm gonna tweet about that bitch and say whatever, and then I go on Twitter and then I say something, and no names named, and then that person gets the screenshot from my friend. Is that like
No.
proof that was about me? About them, sorry?
Because you get it from a friend. You send, you have no names named in it, right?
Right.
You send it to your friend. And
But
did you
say,
send it?
no,
Right.
before I tweeted it, I would say,
Right.
hey friend, this X, Y, and Z person that are getting on my nerves, so I'm gonna say this about them on Twitter.
Well,
Or sometimes, your friends might come in and be like,
unless your friend plans to backstab you much more than just telling them that it was about them. Like,
okay,
and then the person going to court, they still got to prove all of that, so they would need your friend as a witness. And that's Toya saying right now, beat your friend, because if the person, sorry to say, if they don't have them as a witness, they can't prove it. But
That's not
at
your
the same
friend.
time, on the other side, if your friend is willing to go to court to say that, then yeah, the person could prove it's about them. But then remember, you also have the other end of it has to be something that the reasonable man will think is injurious, will cause harm to their professional life. It is not just anything. It has to be these specific things that will affect this person in real life. So if somebody and you got beef in the trash talk, that's not an action for defamation per se.
okay. I feel like we answered those questions. That's like the preliminary questions.
Yes.
Let me see. So if you believe you've been defamed, right? What would be your first avenue that you would take? Because a lot of people don't really know what to do. They'll be like, well, I'll call police for you. I'll put your name in St. Lucia, we say, I'll put your name in the station.
I'll put your name in the station.
Yeah, that's as far as it goes. I will put your name in the station. And then it stays. So
the first thing you would do is call a lawyer. Defamation is not a criminal action; it's a civil action. So you start it unless you want to start it on your own. You start it through a lawyer. Going to the police to report it might be helpful to say,
it's not.
when you're proving your
it's not.
no,
Sorry.
just and when you're proving your case, you might use the police report to say you made a police report on X date because you took it so seriously. But as you said, it's not going to be helpful in terms of getting you what you need for the harm that occurred to you.
From personal experience, going to the police does not work. I did all of that before.
Yeah,
that doesn't work. And sometimes, based on whoever lawyer you want to talk to, they're very clueless. That too. So I don't even know. Sometimes you just have to ignore these things. But in terms of the law, some of the no shade to any lawyer, but some lawyers are very clueless in terms of some of the recent laws that have been
implemented,
developed and are now current. They don't know, especially when it comes to these things. They have no idea.
I must just to give them a blight, like the case law that I was talking about earlier, particularly with the Facebook post. Recently, the decision was recently passed. In Antigua, it was an Antigua case. Like literally in the last 2 months, if I stand to be corrected. And the area of defamation wasn't really explored before to include social media. So what y'all even have in this life is very timely. So yeah, it's to give some credit to some lawyers. I mean, you should always be on top of your game, but it's something new, and we do know some lawyers that possibly don't even use social media too. So
that's why people let's go to the OBA people for them. That's true, and put their names on X because the lawyer's not doing it's true. The lawyer's not doing nothing for you. You really want to take the right or use the right measures to solve these things, but sometimes these things don't work. And then you have to take matters into your own hands, and then you are in the wrong for doing what it is that you were supposed to do.
And then, Toya, your children and your grandchildren coming out
with a reaction gift to that. Yeah. Just call the OBA for that.
So somebody asked the question: if you obtain, let's just say, okay, so Toya, you found out who was behind whatever page. But if the information comes from a shady place, or you did something that was illegal to get that information, does that stand? Like, do you have to explain how you know?
Yeah,
That's for me.
you got proof every. Oh, sorry, it's for Toya.
No, it's for you. That one was
Oh, I was saying you're not a lawyer. You asking me them a lawyer question.
yeah, that one was a legal one.
My good.
Nah,
my
but
good.
anything is a very basic principle in law, and not only in relation to defamation. He who alleges must prove. So anything you can allege in court, you got to be able to prove it, and then the decisions are based on who has the most evidence and who is able to better prove their case.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel I've never been dragged on social media, thankfully.
It's not good, huh?
My dragging was in school. I thank God that it happened back then. So I mean, I kind of not immune. I wouldn't say immune, because depending on what people say and stuff like that gets to anybody. But I don't think I would go as far as going to the police for somebody talking about my physical self. Now, if you say that I stole money, or if you say that I assaulted somebody or whatever, something that route, where it will kind of... Mm-hmm.
What if it's a constant thing, like it's happening to you on several occasions, not just 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe over 20 times?
I think I feel like that's not defamation, but you could literally prove that somebody has caused you a lot of emotional distress. And if you could prove over time that it has been happening, then you stand a good case. But it wouldn't be what you would sue them for wouldn't be for defamation. It would be more so something like, it's a tort, but I can't explain it very I have to be technical to explain this type of law, but you sue based on the injury, emotional injury that you would have suffered by the actions of somebody else. So they were negligent in causing you to suffer that type of emotional distress.
So
But it's not defamation.
And change it around, change the subject of your email. Different, becoming different for them, because maybe that's why it was nothing happened, because they probably was like, well, under these grounds, we can't do anything much.
But that's literally the first thing you do though. Like, if somebody walk into you and say something, you gotta figure out what cause of action it is.
Yeah. I feel like people on social media, whether you're popular or not, I feel like you always have to kind of know the background, your rights, kind of what you can say, what people can and cannot say to you, what people can and cannot do to you. So I like this topic that we're coming on to.
Yeah, it's important. I think I need some more
very important. I'm gonna try to like slide a little bit over to businesses, if that's fine with everybody. Because we have a lot of situations where it may not be a personal attack on someone. It might be a brand, a company, events company, a business, as a KFC, or a band, carnival band, or anything that's a business. Is there a difference between calling out the business service? Because that could possibly, okay, let me see. Do you call out the business's service or lack thereof? Or is it kind of character assassination? I wouldn't say character assassination.
Essentially, character assassination, the business reputational damage. But this one is much easier because it's literally, is it the truth or not? So if you're saying something about a business that was factual, like they give you a bad service or whatever, it literally can't be defamation.
But that's in your opinion. That's in your opinion, though. No?
And reasonably, remember, we went through the tenets of defamation. So the reasonable person reading what you would have said, and it's about you properly describing a service that has been met out to you, whether it's in your opinion or not. If the reasonable person don't see it as you telling everybody to, like, you literally telling everybody to stop shopping at KFC, buying KFC, and them losing enough profits, then it's not defamation. But no, it got hurt them because it made them enough money.
So
it really got hurt them.
So we have a question from Peter. If you do my makeup or nails and I say it isn't good and post pictures and share pictures, since this is an opinion, can it be considered defamation? No.
No.
Well,
so if you post the picture, you post the picture, you say you don't like it, right? And then you continuously drag it out. And then people chime in and drag
out this thing for like 20, like 20, say, let's be realistic. Say you drag out this thing for a year, and then the woman start losing enough weight because you start affecting her, and then she start being incapable of doing her work, and then she obviously lost her livelihood. Then again, distinction with that's more emotional distress that caused her to have a lot of other loss.
Oh, he must frozen again. I feel like people don't drag Jimmy, but they always talking about it. I mean, that's. I mean, what else are they gonna do? But
I'm so used to the dragging. I'm so over it right now. Like I'm literally. I think I had my big episode last year, but for now, I don't really care, to be honest.
No, I honestly feel like when we put ourselves out there, which kind of piggybacked off last week's episode, when you put yourself out there, there's certain things that kind of like inevitable. Sometimes the most beautiful person in our eyes might be dragged, and they might, say the worst things about. And it's like people will say something just to get a reaction. Thankfully, they don't say anything to get a reaction out of me. According to Bunnell, I'm so crazy random, they shri. So let them shri like that. Like that. Let me see if I could add Kemar back into the live. But
he jumped off.
Until then, let me give Toya a question.
Get to me.
So at what point should public figures, influencers, or brands draw the line between criticism and libel or defamation? At what point did you say enough is enough? It's past critiquing my work. It's past just, a 1-2 jokes. Was it a time thing for you?
For me, when that happened to me last year, the first post, let me tell you how this whole thing happened, right?
Okay.
So the first post happened, and then I was like, okay, whatever. Listen, my back is very broad, so like things already affect me, and like I always say, I'm super slow. So like something will be happening, and I'll be so unaware of that it's happening. So it happened. A few people sent it to me.
No, but like, honestly, got way up.
Sorry.
I feel like we should all tweet up a storm against Flo. I just feel so. We should all drag Flo.
I was saying. So the first post didn't affect me, and then the second post was like, okay, I guess that's how you really feel. Then number 3 came, number 4, number 5, number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, number 10. Then story posts, and then more posts, and then comments, and then calls, and then the attack for me was when the person was using anonymous pages to log into my live and disrespect me in my live. Now, once you can do that, for me, that was it. That's when I called the lawyers. That's when I started getting shit handled, because at the end of the day, I will not let anybody affect my whole psyche. Like, you can't get into my head or affect me personally. But then when you started coming into my live and disrespecting me, calling me out of my name, calling my boyfriend out of his name, talking about all sorts of things, that's when I was like, no, pal, you're not going to try. And it happened not once, not twice, but 3 times. The last one, after that, I was like, no, I need to address this.
Because did you get redress?
Beg your pardon?
Did you get redress yet?
No.
Okay.
But listen, I prayed on it and I said, God, handle it for me, and He handled it. And I'm not going to say what happened, because I think if I say that, then if one of her friends is there, they'll know what's going on. But God handled it for me in the best way He could, that the lawyers couldn't. Okay.
Okay, so you got some equity.
It was a female?
It was a her, actually. Yes.
I feel
it was a her.
like
Sadly,
something weird over my head right now.
I know, right? Palm trees and a whole.
Sorry, I don't think your situation was drag, and I think someone had things to say to you that they couldn't say to your face. It was a drag. I'm sorry. If you think like the person just wanted to say things to me that they couldn't, it was a drag. It lasted for 2 months. So 2 straight months of dragging every single day. That's not things that they had to tell me to my face.
So is it somebody that knew you or you know?
Yeah, somebody that I knew, that everybody knows. And
but then that means that it's something probably they could say to your face.
Listen, I don't really care at this point. God handled it the best way He could. And the lawyer, the way God handled that, the lawyer couldn't handle it. So that's even better for me.
Did the person die?
No.
No.
Listen, I don't call me upon people. The person is very much so alive, but they're feeling the effects of trying to basically screw somebody's reputation and their character. You're feeling it now in yourself, and I couldn't have done that. The lawyer couldn't have done that.
Like a gangster.
I know.
I don't know my knees every morning. Don't play with my prayers. You know. That's how I don't have to put no eggs, no name on no eggs.
I think that's what people realize about like fake profiles and stuff. Most of the time, people who make fake profiles are not even social media savvy. So half of the time, they open the fake profile, I get a notification saying, John Benjamin at yahoo.com created a new profile, and here's their first post.
That's what I was telling you earlier. Like, the police find out that easily.
Yeah, it's really easy to trace back to you, and people really feel like it's. I mean, the internet that you signed up on.
Exactly.
Is under your mother's name. So
like, are you, according to the people, are you dumb? Are you dumb?
It's either you or your mother. So whoever going down, one of y'all in the house is going down. Whoever the internet name is on is going down.
It's going down.
The what, Kemar?
I trust and believe mommy will sell you out too.
Okay, because she'll be like, I don't even want to use that.
No, it has actually happened.
Okay, so the next question is, at what point? No, sorry, I did that question already. How can old posts resurface and cause damage to you or your brand? That's been a new thing. Like, everybody's digging. Before you even say, did you see the Jamaica situation, Kemar?
Yes.
Okay.
I am so lost. What situation is that? I'm just. Oh, we can't talk about it. Okay, so don't tell me that.
It's fine, but I personally just think it's something very sensitive.
Yeah, I think it's sensitive.
And I don't necessarily want to speak for people that I'm not close to. I know some people involved, but I don't know. I don't think it's my place to say.
Okay.
I observed it, and yeah.
Yeah. So that
means that
something similar happened.
That means I have to go digging because I don't know what this is about.
Yeah, you have to go on.
John, me to send you a screenshot, man.
Right. When we go, send us.
No, it's there. It's for public consumption, but I just, me saying certain things will have certain implications. So
yeah. We have to protect you. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
But the next question I was asking is because that was kind of the situation where somebody would speak out about something. Let's say I'm holier than thou now, which is why I really don't give much, because I don't know what I tweeted in 2012, 13, 14, can't remember. Because sometimes you ever go on Facebook and then you see like one of these throwbacks and then you're like,
Facebook doing that nonsense, reminding you of things how many years ago, old pictures. What is that? That is not good at all.
It's the post for me, it's the verbiage for me. It's like, why did I speak like that?
Y'all are rookies. When you graduate high school, you delete that Facebook forever.
Yeah, I think that's what the issue
That's what I
is.
did.
For me, it's because I had like a good following on my social platforms. So
So
it's
you
like I
just
didn't want to
felt
start from scratch. In fact, I did start from scratch on Instagram, but it was so annoying that I was getting 3 likes on a picture. I was over it. I was just like, I can't even deal. I need my big page back. But you were saying something, Kemar. I think it was along to answer the
your
question.
question. I think because you were asking specifically about old tweets or like old Facebook posts surfacing.
Right,
I have 2 schools of thoughts on that because I was thinking about it recently too.
right,
I think you have to take everything in context. So if I was to even if I was to bring a claim of defamation against somebody, I think I would want to think of everything in context and like let somebody write this saying, I was on Twitter for a very long time. Like I have 6 Twitter profiles. So I had over
Oh,
the course of
okay.
time.
I thought you had good account.
No. But Twitter back in the day, certain things were very popular to say, or certain types of ways of communicating were very popular. And I think I would think about that contextually, like even if I was arguing for the person, like at the same time, the reasonable person at the time of posting those things would not have necessarily think that bad thing about you because that was the way people were speaking back then and everybody understood it to be a joke.
Right.
However, I do think that there are real life repercussions to old tweets and so on resurfacing. And remember, one of the things we were talking about is like social media and social influencers. And if you
Right.
know that brand is your thing, you also know that there's as much as when you make it very big, there's no such thing as good press and bad press. Until you get there, you do know that brand is good and brand can also be bad. So when old tweets of you are repurposing and being republished in a time of like more, if we speak in real life shit, the Me Too movement, people are more liberal now in these times. If you're seen as a certain type of person and you're dependent on brand, just not get affect your brand. Like it's not hard to fathom. Some people use apps which deleted tweets from a
I need to
certain
find that.
period. No, they're those apps. Some people clean up, sanitize their things. I know some people that sit down, sanitize everything they've ever done. You do what you need to do. It's very simple.
Yeah, I feel like I need to invest because I'm somebody I like to pay for premium apps. So I feel like I need to invest in the provision of whatever that sweet cleanup app is and just wipe everything. Because I mean everybody had their reckless times. And I don't know if it was reckless, but it was very much the culture. Because everybody always says nowadays, right? That if you were the thing is if you were in the original Twitter, you would have had your feelings hurt. A lot of people back then used to say some wild things.
I think it's the same thing. Yes. But at the same time, even though you're saying that, right? Like a lot of people will also say that people were not as sensitive back then. But I just think it was what was trendy then versus what is trendy now. And back then it was trendy and people understood it to either be a joke or even if most reasonable people back then, even if you were the person being dragged, you understood that it was a drag for the night, and tomorrow you come back strong. That's how I remember Twitter when I first started with
Wow.
Twitter.
Are you on Twitter
I am.
now?
Yes.
Oh, you tweet?
Not as I don't really tweet as much as I used to. I can admit that because work.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love Twitter.
When you're professional now, you really can't say too much, and then the majority of things now
I
is
just
like
don't got time. That's the truth. Like I just tweet when I wake up. I will be on Twitter. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't have the time to tweet.
right. So SM Pink Steffi says, like Rasheen said last week, address it. Don't apologize. Just address the situation and move on. So do you are you in agreement to that?
Who said that in relation to what?
She said that in relation to you getting accused of something being brought up, and you taking onto your social media platforms. Because a lot of people are of the belief that if you apologize for something, you're accepting it or you owning it, you're taking ownership of it. So is that something that is looked at by the law, that if I said sorry publicly, that means that I did it, or that means that I meant what I felt that type of way?
I don't think that Russian is right or wrong. I think it depends on your brand. I honestly do. I feel like there's some people whose brand is being unapologetic. Like for example, Lizzo. And this is just me calling things that I think everybody would know. And she does some things that you may expect. Selena Gomez, well, maybe not so much anymore, but you know what I mean, like a more cookie cutter person to have. The time
Taylor
Ariana
Swift.
Grande licked the donut
Sure.
and she had to apologize for it. I think it depends on your brand. I also do think that for some people, for instance, if you can be a politician or somebody in a more accountable public sphere, then it might be in your best interest to apologize. It depends on your brand.
Yeah, like I feel like Toya's brand is an apology brand. She needs to get on there and say, "I'm sorry, my brand."
I try my very best not to step on. I am naturally that way.
Yeah.
So if, let's just say, I offend somebody, I would naturally apologize once I'm aware of it, right? But I make sure that I try my best not to say anything out of line. Like I said last week, you ain't messing with my coin, my money. 'Cause once I have to go on this apology tour, then the people that employ me have to look at me a certain type of way, and I just don't want that. So for me, I'm very, very careful. Very. Anybody who knows about or who's seen me or who's been on my journey or who follows me know that I'm very, very, very careful. Super.
Malcolm says, I think people are now becoming more mindful as to what is being said about them, since they know it can have a great impact on their reputation.
And I think that's just the side effect of, if you can build up people on their reputation, obviously they now have something that they can lose. So how we have been using social media will also now foster a culture where people now in very digital spheres of thing can be affected, where they make money and all of that can be affected now. So you really gotta be careful what you say.
Facts.
Yeah, it's true.
This one. Okay. So you're on Twitter, especially Twitter, because Twitter grows legs because of the retweet feature. Let me tell you, which is why I like Twitter, because it could.
Listen, Twitter is scary as hell.
It's scary, but you could how viral you can go on there is really good. I mean, it's bad when it's bad.
But Jesus Christ.
So, kind of third party, meaning somebody who retweets something that is classed as defamatory or assassination of character, can they be held accountable? Like, if I say something and it's proven that statement is, defamation of character, and people retweet it, can these people get held accountable?
They can, because
they don't know how they
one question for you: if you ain't know you're talking about what you're doing, sharing it for, it's as simple as that.
Because I find it funny. Okay, let me see. Listen, retweet.
If it's like, it depends. If it's something that, remember, for it to even be defamatory, it has to be injurious to somebody else. So when you ask me when you say that it's been found to be defamation, we already taken that it's something serious that was said about somebody that hurts them in some way, that they suffer loss. I'm not talking about, and I understand you saying, and yes, you do make a valid point, because some people have senses of humor that are different, and some people can literally find your downfall funny and want to share that message. But just know that if it is untruth, you retweeting means that you're also sharing it to a whole different audience. It might have a
But
subset
how
of
am I
different
being held
audience.
accountable for something somebody else tweeted?
Because you're sharing it.
Yeah, but I don't know who they're talking about. Hey.
So I'm crazy random. That's a good thing, because if that's a good question, because if like these it's a
well,
celebrity
also, right, at the same time, you asking me very theoretical things. I'm asking you. I'm answering you theoretically. But how many persons are really going to sit down and sue
Right.
everybody that retweets something? You can go with the person who created the post.
Right.
More often than not, you're going to use how many people retweet it to show how wide it has been spread since the original post. But theoretically speaking, each person retweeting that thing is sharing it to a different audience. And if we look at the theory of defamation, they're also contributing to it.
So I have a scenario, right? That's along those lines. It's very blanket. It's not anything about
Yes,
anything.
drop your blanket. Drop your blanket questions.
It's not about anything that happened, right? So let's just say it's very serious to the point of sexual assault, right?
Right.
And someone who is like a lot of Twitter people have jumped in on things that have nothing to do with them. They just want to be in the source. They want a little more retweets for their stuff. So they probably screenshot something that the person said and posted it on their page. That's a lot more than a retweet,
Okay.
right?
Yeah, and I actually have seen a case like that very recently.
Was it in solution?
And I am pursuing it. No, it's not. I'm not talking about
that no, it's a blanket. Sorry.
It's blanket.
Yeah, it's a blanket question. But the literal thing you said, the person, I've never used it, but WhatsApp status. So they created the status, it was screenshot, and the screenshot started spreading, and now we're looking to get some compensation for the person who was injured as a result of the untruth that was stated.
Oh, that's happening right now? You have a case like that?
Based on how the law is now. Yeah.
I should hire you, man.
Yeah, we'll have to talk after that.
Represent me in a few cases.
Y'all doing it in St. Lucia with the social media, man.
Yeah, I have no.
I feel like y'all going through it.
I didn't even know Toya had cases in these streets, to be quite honest. If somebody came up to me and said Toya had cases, I would say not Toya. Like, but clearly Toya had cases in these streets, and she is.
I have 0 cases, but I did have one before.
So can you take out somebody name in the station? You take out the person name in the station?
I put names in the station, but
names in the station?
I put a name in the station, but it didn't go anywhere.
I think that's going over Kemar's head because it's a little Lucian thing.
No, I understand it now. But I'm trying to keep up with the comments too.
Yeah, because putting names in the station doesn't necessarily mean that I want police to get involved. It just means that when I do take things into my own hands, that they already know. That
there's documentation here.
Yeah, that's what that is. Usually,
so wait, is it like a beat down? Like how do people publicly know?
It's just like you put the name there because of whatever happened. Right. So if something happens later, you have that there. So you could say, well, I posted this on this date. See?
So like you see, if we're in carnival, and most times our carnival would pass somewhere close,
I can start using that.
Right? And somebody is interfering with you on Carnival Monday or Carnival Tuesday, and you just like you see that.
I put your name in the station.
You go, you put their name in the station, and when you're coming back prime to fight. Prime to have a issue. So that's what the putting the name in the station thing is. I just looking for some questions. I want some questions, and feel free if you guys wanted to join. Just you don't need to use your camera.
Wait, they said they need an answer for Grace's question.
Let me see Grace's question.
How much does a successful defamation case generate? Right. The last case that I read is actually, because Grace, I know you'll be interested in law too. It's the Mary John decision in Antigua. It was upwards of 100,000 EC dollars. I can't remember the exact figure, but when you read the case, you will see exactly how she was injured. She had a serious professional reputation that she had built up, and the allegations against her were found by the court to have seriously affected that professional reputation. So yeah.
So are you putting people's name in this thing?
Listen, Kemar, I'm gonna give you a call after this, okay?
I've been looking forward to it. Let's make some money.
So Alana asked, so like people who said they didn't endorse the scam, they just advertised it was that. I don't think that's anything related to that. I just think that's
Oh, she's talking about the retweet things?
No, that was last week's episode.
That was last
the pyramid scheme thing, whatever.
Yeah, that's shit. Ponzi schemes are shit. Stop. Don't put your money in pyramid schemes, please. Because okay, remember when we had Wake Up Now? Y'all never had Wake Up Now. Y'all had Amway in St. Lucia?
No.
Y'all had in St. Lucia?
This is actually, I feel like the first one.
Y'all had any pyramid? What's the pyramid scheme y'all have now? The trading forex?
No, it's the 100 US and you get 800 US out.
Listen. Them things that came around from the time I was in high school, right? And none of these niggas are rich now. Like, none of them are better off. So, please don't.
You're not good, huh?
It's just a pyramid scheme to keep people who already have money richer. Easy money will never last.
So I'm going to post the link 1 second into the comments so that if anybody wants to join in, you don't need to use your camera, but you could just speak and ask your question. Feel free to do so. Don't be shy. Okay? Did it post? Yeah, it did post. Okay. So this is the stream. I'll see you come up in the backstage, and then I'll add you if you are ready. But do you have any questions for us, Kemar? If you have, like, because I have this.
Do I have any questions?
You what?
You asked me if I have any questions?
Yeah, if you have any.
Okay. So, like, no, seriously speaking, because I don't think I have figured out from either of you as people about your brands or social media influencers, etc. How do you draw the line?
Oh, me? Oh, yeah. Either one of them?
Both of you.
I was saying this. I think you dropped in the conversation.
Sorry.
I was saying for me, when it happened to me last year, I ignored it for as long as I could, and then I.
Oh no, not from that end. Yeah, I heard that. I mean, like when you're tweeting or right? How do you all draw the line?
For me, I just don't do it. I don't know about Jamil. I don't know about Jamil, but for me, I look at it differently because I have a lot of endorsements. I'm endorsed by 1, 2, 3, 4, at least 5 companies, right?
Okay.
I feel like I have a lot to lose, so I try not to engage in anything anywhere, whether it be on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. It doesn't matter. I try to ensure that my brand is a brand where somebody could look at it and say, I want this girl to represent my brand. I want her because
somebody just
she doesn't have anything controversial happening. She's not all over the place. Nobody's talking negative things about her. She's not in any no drama. I wouldn't say that I'm a clean cut type of brand, but I try to not get involved in anything because I don't want to lose any of my endorsements, and 2, I want to get more. So for me, I just don't do it.
I feel like at the same time you draw a good line because I feel like, and I mean like we only met today. I feel like you're kind of feisty, so I feel like you're good at drawing your line because I would have thought maybe you could do some trash talking.
Toya could shape with the best of them. I could just say that. Now, whether she would say it online, that's a different question.
Right. Okay.
I would
Which is
probably say
the best
in
idea.
person, but not.
We have one person that wants to ask something. Wait 1 second. Let me see if I can add them to the stream. I'm not sure what I just did, to be honest.
Yeah, the same jokes. Baby question, man. I saw it before. It was a good question.
Which one?
Petals, so Buji just asked again. I like this question. I just highlighted it. You can see it?
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. What if a social media influencer endorse a fraudulent product? Are they liable in lawsuits? Right. I don't know exactly how much this affects our jurisdiction yet in terms of how update our laws are about this area. But
Right.
what I can say is we are common law jurisdictions, and I know that in England and the US particularly, US isn't really common, like we don't follow their legislation, but just drawing examples. They now have this law where if you're an influencer and you're promoting products for other people, you have to, specifically for Instagram, you got hashtag advertisement or ad. And I know some of you have been seeing that. Now
Right.
that right there is the influencer's legal protection against how damaging the product could be. Because what you are in essence highlighting is your relationship with the company. You're not a part of the company. You didn't produce the product, obviously. You are just promoting it. And if the product, like say for instance, it was a drink that caused people to have food poisoning, they can't really sue you for promoting it because all you did was promote it. You were the avenue of advertisement. So I would say without that advertisement thing right now, globally, internationally, it looks like you could be liable because then it seems like you would be promoting these products for your own
What if
self.
you're not endorsed by the company that has the product?
And if they're deemed
You're not
illegal.
endorsed by the company, so you're just promoting it just because, like you're
Yeah, like
on your own
yeah,
initiative.
yeah.
Right. So that's well, it that would be the same, I guess, as not having the advertisement. It would seem like you're genuinely promoting this for kind of like your own self interest, or you're telling people how you're promoting it. You're not letting people know this is an ad. Do your own research. You're promoting it like, hey, I've tried this thing. This works. Believe me. Spend your money with me. Try it too. So then, because of that, you are liable, especially, and most of these people, the reason why the law came to what it came to is because most of these people don't even use the products anyways.
They don't.
That's a very harmful thing. So influencers are being held accountable right now in our region. I can't say because I don't think we have contemplated those things yet. I don't think anybody has sued because of a tea that
Right.
somebody sell them or promote to be sold in our region.
They have teas in the Caribbean. They sell the teas there.
I don't know. I'm just saying I don't think so. I don't know.
Because I think some on some different type of flat, and I know it's not exercise, so it probably has hit the Caribbean. So yeah, somebody's trying to join in the live, but you need to connect your mic at least, and or your mic and camera. So before I can add you in, it's not gonna allow me to add you without your mic being on. Yeah, so we're just gonna keep the questions going for now. Oh, I didn't answer. What did I didn't answer something. The question about me, how I tweet and stuff, and how I kind
Yeah,
of.
you didn't answer.
For me, I feel like I could keep up. I have the ability of keeping up with the trending things without saying too much, and I could basically.
I feel like
things.
because I follow you. What you said earlier is true. You tweet very blanket things. So like you will be tweeting about somebody and you don't know. And it's be funny.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like sometimes I feel like I've seen you in confrontation on Twitter.
Me?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I feel like you have been on Twitter before.
I had an We had an island issue that I did a video, and they had an issue with how I phrased something. So they tried to drag me, and I wasn't allowing the drag. So Toya, me and you need to have a how to not allow the drag conversation.
I like to ignore, so maybe that might work for you sometimes. Just don't say anything.
Yeah,
don't get involved in the drag.
I mean, certain times, but that's the issue. If people realize that you just gonna sit back and they could gang up on you and they could run the narrative, like, I'm gonna correct you as much as possible, and I'm going to do so very intelligently. I'm not going to go back and forth with you very, regular. I'm probably going to shoot above your head. So that's just how it is. But for me, I try not to say too much because I don't like to hurt people's feelings online. Now, in my group chats, if I laugh at you, that's something different.
Bro.
Like, that's supposed to be between me and my friend or me and my
So what happened if them ever sell you up now?
Well, if they ever sell me out, that's
But then I guess all around going down.
Everybody's in a group chat that if any one of the persons involved in that group chat phone goes missing, they're screwed. Like, I feel like everybody is in at least one group chat that everybody's phones need to be under high security.
I literally don't.
Really?
No.
You're not in any group chat?
Not like that. Like, not.
I'm only in 2, 3. I'm not in a lot.
No.
I'm in a group chat. I'm in general group chats with my friends. Like, we plan things and have jokes. But I need a group chat that
a saucy group chat.
Something that you're working with.
Don't believe them. They're trying to act like they're so holier than thou. Oh, we only talk about which book to catch up on and which Netflix show.
Jamil, I'm not in any chat. I don't have any chat. I swear to you, I'm in our team chats, Zuvo and stuff, and that's really it. And our other businesses, I don't have any group chat. I know my life seems kind of boring, but it is what it is.
I know. I just feel like at least if somebody can go in their group chats and for one person decide I screenshotting this, it might be taken out of context, but it can cause some trouble.
Nah, not well. Yeah, maybe at work, but not fundamentally. Not
well, I mean, you always have to be careful what you say. Like, like you just have to be. You have to be careful how you say good morning. Like, you just have to. Somebody said my group chats be in shambles. It's true. It's not even you kind of. It's just it's one person just has to send a screenshot, and it's like, what's going on? Like, what is going on social media? Somebody said, our toilet that smoke said you think I'm not worried if toilet? I know toilet.
If I say I open my phone, right? This is my phone. 0. Honestly, no group chats. I swear. Let me. Honestly, 0. I keep
filming on her other phone. She has a burner phone, so don't even. I
have 0 group chats. Nothing. My life is so boring. Right. If I want to talk to somebody about something, I have to go and message them. Like, there's no chats. I have none. 0. I don't have any. Lord have mercy. Why? My life really dry. Yeah.
Somebody said. Okay. Somebody had a question. Jokes, BB. I'm trying to find your question. Sorry, it kind of just reloaded. Could you ask your question over again? Jokes, BP. Is that person from Barbados?
I think so.
I think so. For example, would it be reasonably expected that if you give someone your car keys, they are given permission to drive your car? I'm trying to figure out what it's related to because I didn't see the first part of the question. But I am thinking you were probably talking about somebody having access to your
BP.
But to answer that question that they had though, no. Mm-hmm. Because if somebody has access to your car keys and you allege that you didn't give them permission, they will have to prove that you did. And it's a defense that some people use in like motor vehicle accidents because it's a real thing. Some people take up your cars, steal them to do things and get in accidents. But for the most part, it is even so technical that if I lend you my car and I tell you to go to the supermarket, and then after the supermarket you went to the beach, and then you went to the football field, and then you get in an accident at the ATM on the way back to me, then that accident has nothing to do with me. I did not give you permission to do that. So
Right.
you have no permission from me, and you're fully liable on your own.
Okay, so jokes, BB's question. Legally, can you be...
Oh, that was the first question?
Yeah, that was the question before what she asked.
Can you be given access to something be logically interpreted to mean permission is also inferred? Okay, I think I understand what they're saying. Can access given also mean that is access given a presumption of permission? I guess it would be a presumption, and whoever gave the access would have to say there was no permission, right? It would be a presumption, yeah.
Right. Okay, so I have a question from Instagram. What about a video created from clips? Because the clip is factual, but the intention or purpose of the clip has been skewed or misrepresented, as a response to something.
Can you read that again, please?
What about a video created from clips? Because the
Right.
clip is factual, but the intention or purpose of the clip has been skewed or misrepresented as a response to something.
So then the video is not real. Even though the clip is a real clip, the produced video isn't real, right? That's what I suppose to infer.
I think, let's go with your explanation, and then they'll clarify.
Okay. So if it is what I think it is, that the video is altered in a way to make it look like the person is doing something that they aren't, although they use clips that are real of the person,
Okay.
then if that's what I'm understanding, usually we have seen cases where you have experts that kind of come to court and give testimonies on videos and examine the videos to say whether they're authentic or not. If that is an avenue that a client is willing to go through, and they know that the video is fake and the video somehow causes harm to them in the ways that we would have mentioned before, that many people in the chat have given shots for the word I'm about to say, defamation, then I would say it's likely that the person who is in the video that has been produced and it is fake, that person can sue for any injury that has occurred to them once that they can prove that the video is fake.
We have another question. I don't know what happened. Are we back? Everybody's back?
Yes.
Okay. At what point does freedom of speech on social media become cyberbullying, which is illegal? Was this talked about? Yeah, it was talked about, Markella. We kind of just touched on it. So it was kind of the topic, really and truly.
That's why I was thinking.
Yeah, the entire topic.
I was going to be like, hey, Markella, that was not today's topic.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I mean, but the live is going to be up on my YouTube channel and on my Facebook, OG Vibes. So if you want to go back and look at the whole thing. Any more questions? Or somebody wants to join the live? Let me see if Lucy has a question. Hi, Lucy.
Hi, I'm just coming in to listen.
I think you have the wrong link, Lucy.
Okay.
You have to be on the Instagram. This one, if you do have a question about the topic is when does freedom of speech evolve into character?
I just came in. I'm quite lost. I just came in.
Okay, no problem, Lucy.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Bye.
Lucy chose the wrong link. But yeah, I think it's a very important conversation to have because a lot of people are scared to express themselves now because it's like anything that I say can be just kind of used against me. And it might not even reach as far as law, but the cancel culture is real.
Right.
And it's like they pull out these words so fast, and it's like sometimes it's not even that, but they put it out and people jump on it like, oh yeah, that's what it is, or this is defamation, or this is sexual assault, or this is that, and just go on a rampage. And by the time any legal advice is taken, that person is cancelled. Nobody wants to hear what you have to say, what your lawyer said, what your lawyer thinks. Because actually they think they're their own lawyers, to be quite honest. Everybody on social media has a law degree, a medical degree. It's crazy.
It's true.
I think that's a very important conversation to have. Let me see. At what point? Let me see. I'm just looking through the comments. I have so many things going on, guys. So I'm just trying to go through them. Da-da-da-da-da. Any questions you guys have for people in the comments to see?
I don't. This
And
this
this
legal
is
conversation was needed for me because I wanted to know a lot of things that
Right.
Kemar was able to address and just clarify for me.
and just remember, it's now something our jurisdictions are coming into.
Right.
This is really sad though.
It is sad, but it also is, as much as in the other states that we mentioned, like the US, etc., we don't really have that much of a litigus or litigation culture. I'm just saying our people are not as likely, particularly in relation to defamation, to sue other people because of what they have said. It's not something that people are, in our region,
Right.
growing accustomed to and learning that they have some legal rights in that regard, which therefore means that it's really only now that our courts have had to consider using social media for defamation, etc. So it is a new legal concept that will be developed more and more. So yeah, just talk to your lawyers. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, so maybe this conversation will help push it. I don't know, just speaking into existence. But
Yeah.
Me too.
asking, can defamation be unintentional? I think a lot of things are unintentional when you get in front of the court.
It can. I think that was the crux of this whole thing, and I think that is a very, very, very important part.
Yeah.
We were talking about retweets before, and yes, that was a hypothetical situation, but realistically speaking, you can be sued for what you say, particularly if you're saying things about somebody that you know can harm them in the ways we discussed, and you don't know if it's the truth or not. That's a risk you are taking. So whether it's intentional or not, you took that risk to say those things.
Just taking the last few questions because we're rounding off. I think as a general rule of thumb, people should be careful what they say because you don't know who has the resources to take legal action.
Agreed.
Because it's on our chest and we want to say it, so we're saying it and then we're not thinking.
Yeah,
after.
sometimes you just in the heat of the moment you're going back and forth and somebody tell you something that really touched you, and then you have to be like, okay, well I have to go for the jugular and I have to say you're a woman, I have to say a lot of things are not necessary, but sometimes it's necessary in the moment. Somebody else had a question. If you were defamed, would you accept an apology? So I think So I want to ask that.
Some people do. Some people do.
If I would accept an apology,
made another account and came on some real stuff and said, "Hey Toya, I just want to say, well, I apologize for doing this, da 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 da," and it was still fresh where you wanted to take it to higher legal matters. Would you accept the apology and be like, okay?
No.
So it
because my thing is, if you're wrong about something,
right?
Let's just say you mess up, right? Okay, let's use cheating as an example.
Mm-hmm.
You cheat on your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whatever, right? and you do it once. You come to her or come to him and say, baby, I'm so sorry, I messed up one time. If you're doing it consistently on several occasions, you mend that shit. So now I've taken legal action against you, and now you see the repercussions of your actions. You want to come and tell me, sorry, I don't want it. I'm sorry, I can't accept it.
Recently, a solution influencer had to apologize for something he said based on things he got from a fake account.
Exactly.
I don't know. You know what happened? I don't know what happened. What happened? Which influencer who had to say sorry?
Really? I never heard that. This is news to my ears.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I know, but it's not ringing any bells. But if nobody has any questions, somebody says public drag, public apology. I agree. I mean, the same chest you had to say it with. Don't come on and tell me. But I want to say, I apologize. Go same underneath my post and kiss my ass every day.
No. And I don't need you to kiss my ass either to tell me or to now, oh, you're so beautiful, Toya, your body is amazing, your makeup is bomb, your brand is amazing. Bitch, bye. I'm good. I am good. Thank you very much. I've been surviving without you. Take your apology and go somewhere else. Give it to somebody else.
I think we've answered every single question, unless you guys have questions or the viewers have questions. But I think we've covered it. I think it's covered, to be quite honest. I really enjoyed it. I want to thank Kemar for giving us all his legal counsel.
No legal counsel.
I really needed
legal counsel. This was
He gave us
conversation.
a conversation with legal knowledge.
We discussed social media and its legal implications.
Okay. I want to thank Toya for sharing and joining us. And
no problem.
It was just a great vibe.
Thank you guys for inviting me.
Yeah, I mean, you have to come back. Hopefully you don't, charge me the next time.
Send him the bill.
We have 100 minutes right now, so we can split the bill amongst everybody because everybody went home some kind of. Okay.
Thank you guys. Have a good night.
You too. Bye, guys. See you on the next week, and make sure you like and subscribe.
Bye.
I